Hi, I'm Jason Hershey coming to you from the National Mall here in Washington, D.C., right beside the Washington Monument. Just to give you a sense of a gravity for where I am right now, the Lincoln Memorial is right there, the White House is there, Capitol building over my shoulder this way, and the Jefferson Memorial over my shoulder back this direction. And right here on this very land, I want to announce to you that on September the 11th, we're starting David's Tent DC that will run continuously 24/7 for 424 days, straight through until November 8th, the next presidential election in 2016. This sidewalk that goes back and forth on the National Mall is actually the most trafficked sidewalk of all of the monuments. And the tent being right beside there is going to be great for evangelism opportunities. If you're not familiar with the story of David's Tabernacle, I wasn't either for many years. It was several years ago, I was in a time of fasting and prayer for the United States, just crying out to God, God, what can I do? God, what can I do that would turn this nation's heart back to you, Jesus? And this story of David's Tabernacle gripped my heart. If you're not familiar with the story, basically what happened was when King David was king in Jerusalem, he set his palace up there, he brought the Ark of the Covenant in, put it under a tent, the Ark of the Presence of the Lord, under a tent right beside the palace, and he hired 4,000 musicians and 288 singers. They were put in watches around the clock. Their full-time job was to pray specifically in song around the clock, 24/7, 365 as ministry unto the heart of the Lord. I was stirred by this story and I thought, man, we have got to do this in America. We have tens of thousands of churches all over America. Let's set up a tent in our capital city and do what no nation has done in the past 3,000 years. Well, for the last 3 falls, just across the street here at the White House Ellipse, we put up a tent there for 40 days. This past fall, we did it for 50 days. Last fall, in 50 days, 225 different worship teams came, signing up in these 2-hour watches around the clock, one worship team after the next, to bring a 50-day continuous love song to Jesus. Well, at the end of last year's David's Tent, we began to converse with the Park Service, and this is what's opened the door for us to now do it 365 around the clock. Right here with a sense of the whole city around us, we want to lift up this love song to Jesus. Psalms 22:3 says that the Lord inhabits the praises of his people, that the Spirit of God will dwell in our praise, and a sense of this whole capital city will begin to revolve around Jesus. We really need your help in a couple areas. Number one, we need you to partner with us by helping us spread the word. Please tell every single person you know, whatever church they go to spread the word about it. We need your worship team to participate. Come to DC with your worship team. Sign up in one of these 2-hour watches. We also need you to pour into it financially. It's about $2 a minute that it's going to cost us to do this next year. Even if you just have $20 to give, that funds 10 minutes of David's Tent. God has been so faithful in the years past to provide exactly what we needed. The first year, it came down, we needed $100,000. And at the end of it, we were within $200 of our budget. God brought in exactly what we needed. And so please go ahead with alabaster jar offerings. You know, Mary in the Bible that gave this worshipful offering of this broken bottle of perfume at Jesus' feet. We are asking you to give as you're led, and we ask you to pour into your finances into this. But also, thirdly, we ask you to be praying for us. We honestly believe that this Tabernacle of David is God's an invitation for our nation to run into him. So Amos 9:11, an address that's very significant for America because of 9/11. In Amos chapter 9, verse 11 says, in that day, I will raise up the fallen tabernacle of David. And I want to suggest to you that that day is this day.
You are worthy of it all. You are worthy of it all.
And we know that if he is lifted up, that he will draw all men unto himself.
And to you all, Jesus be the glory. Jesus be the glory.